Hello, league members, and welcome to the third annual Missouri 5 Draft Lottery. My name's Ben Bentley, and I'm joined by my co-host, Brendan Riley. Riley, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Ben. I'm excited to get this started. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Let's get this started. To start things off, let's talk about the changes this year. The first thing is that this year is not live. This has been pre-recorded. Instead of ping pong balls, we are now using tickets with each team's logo on them. Last place has 8 tickets, 7th place has 7, and so on and so on. Drawing the tickets tonight is my beautiful wife, Kathryn. Kathryn, are you ready to start?
Sure am.
Great. Kathryn, who is going to have the first pick in the draft?
The first pick in the Missouri 5 2020 Draft Lottery is Des Moines Butterfly Wings.
Hey, all right. He finally gets it. He gets the first pick. Congratulations, D. The Des Moines Butterfly Wings, with their first round picks, they have gone quarterback, running back, wide receiver, showing a draft tendency to take a quarterback with their first pick. Last year they took Julio Jones with their first pick, but now with the number 1 pick, they can do anything they want. They can go Christian McCaffrey, they can go with the top running back from last year, they could stay with their quarterback tendency, go Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, and they could take the top wide receiver in Michael Thomas. We've never had a champion from the number 1 pick spot before. Do you think D and the Des Moines Butterfly Wings could do it this year, Riley?
I think they definitely have a really good chance if this is the year they can do it. I think this is it.
Absolutely. Yeah. They can turn it around, go from last place in the league to first. It's possible. Kathryn, back to you. Who has the second pick?
The second pick is Chattanooga Potatoes.
What pick do you want?
All right. It looks like the Chattanooga Potatoes have deferred their pick to the 5th selection. So we will revisit that pick once we get to that point of the draft. Kathryn, who is the next selection?
And the third pick is the Smurfettes.
All
right, with our second pick, the Smurfettes are going to be going. Now, the Smurfettes in the last 5 drafts have gone running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver. Last year with the 8th pick, they picked DeAndre Hopkins. This is going to be a very different year for them as they're at the number 2 spot. So I know that she's been gunning for this guy for the last 2 years, ever since he came out of college. You know, she's never been in a position to draft him before, and I think she's going for Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. Even if Christian McCaffrey is
Even if McCaffrey is still on the board, she's going for Barkley.
Wow.
I'm certain of it.
I could see that.
If she doesn't go for Barkley and McCaffrey's on the board, I would say that's the obvious next choice.
Okay.
And then possibly Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
And then, there have been 2 championships, one from drafting second. So I think this pick is going to set the tone for her season.
Absolutely. A solidifier early on.
Absolutely. All right, Kathryn, who is going to be our next selection?
And the 4th pick is Be Strong.
And the 3rd pick, the Be Strong. They have shown a strong tendency to draft running backs, drafting running back, and then switching it last year to quarterback. And that same quarterback that she picked first last year was Patrick Mahomes with her first pick. Patrick Mahomes, we're believing, is probably still going to be on the board if he's not taken at the first 2 picks. Riley, do you think there's a chance Mahomes could go to the Be Strong again?
Oh, I absolutely think that's a possibility. I mean, he did a lot of work for her last year. And I mean, I would definitely say he won her a couple games almost by himself.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a very strong pick for him.
Absolutely. All the weapons that he has, those touchdowns, those are money in this league.
Oh, yeah.
Other options, if McCaffrey's still on the board, he would be an excellent selection for the Be Strong at 3. And Ezekiel Elliott, he is still on the board at this point. Very strong selection as well. We have had one champion come from drafting 3rd overall in our league. Kathryn, who is our next selection?
And the 5th pick is rolling with Mahoney.
Hey!
Here we go.
That's my co-host Riley here, his team. All right, the rolling with Mahomes. They have a draft tendency to select running backs. Their drafts have gone running back, wide receiver, running back with their first selection. Last year their pick was David Johnson. It didn't quite pan out, but I think Riley sticks with the running back trend. I see him taking either Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings, Ezekiel Elliott, or he just gives up on running backs altogether. He says he's not going there and goes with Michael Thomas, the number 1 receiver on the board at this point. They have had one champion come from the 4th round, so anything is possible. Riley, any tips or secrets you're going to give us about who you're going to take on draft day?
No, sir. I think I'm going to keep all the trade secrets to myself right now.
Oh, sorry guys. You're going to have to wait till draft day to see who Riley takes at number 4. But after him is going to be my wife Kathryn, who she deferred to the 5th pick earlier in the draft. The Chattanooga Petitos have not been in the league long enough to get a draft tendency. We usually like to have 3 years to get the tendency rating. But they have taken a wide receiver and a running back in the last 2 drafts. So they like those positions. They took Alvin Kamara with their first pick last year. Some potential fits here. I don't see the Petitos going with Kamara again. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think she kind of got a sour taste in her mouth from dealing with what happened last year.
I think so too. I would agree. I see her going with Ezekiel Elliott of the Cowboys here. Even possibly Michael Thomas, or going with the guy that just dominated the playoffs in the end of the season, Derrick Henry. He's also a very solid choice. What do you think, Riley?
I absolutely agree. I think she's going to go with who she thinks is the best player on the board at that time, whether it be wide receiver or running back.
I agree. She has had 2 champions from that round in round 5. So the Petitos, they could go from 2nd worst in the league to potentially vying for a championship.
Absolutely.
Kathryn, would you please tell us who the next selection will be?
The 6th pick is Boonville Rednecks.
Hey, there we go. All right, defending champion gets a bit early this year. Number 6 overall pick. The Boonville Rednecks have drafted running back, wide receiver, running back. Heavy tendency on the running backs. Last year he picked Ezekiel Elliott. Really helped them get to the playoffs and get that championship. That's what, 3 now?
3, yes sir.
3. He's going for 4. Interesting enough, there are 0 champions that have drafted with the 6th pick, so it's going to be a challenge for you this year.
It will.
Now, I think the Boonville Rednecks are probably just going to go with who they think is the best player on the board, and I believe that at the time it will be, with that late of a pick, it's going to be Michael Thomas. Over first wide receiver, probably going to be taken in the draft. Best wide receiver on the board for sure. He's got Drew Brees back. It's going to be a pretty big pick for him. If he doesn't go with Thomas, I think he's going to go with another Saint, Alvin Kamara, or possibly the Browns star Nick Chubb. All right, Kathryn, who is going to be our 7th pick?
And the 7th team is Superheroes in Training.
All right, looks like Superheroes in Training are going to be our 7th pick. The Superheroes in Training, drafting-wise, have gone pretty even with wide receivers and running backs this year, or the past years. Last year, they went with Saquon Barkley with the 2nd overall pick. I'm thinking they're probably going to go with a wide receiver for their pick this year, DeAndre Hopkins. What do you think of that?
Absolutely, I think that's a great pick. I believe that he chose DeAndre Hopkins with his first pick a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
That was the year after he won his championship.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and I think if he doesn't go for DeAndre Hopkins, if Kamara's on the board, he'll go there, possibly even Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely, the number 1 scoring player in fantasy last year. Why not? At 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there haven't been any champions that have drafted at the 7th round. So just like Ben and Boonville Rednecks, it's going to be a bit of a challenge for him. So we'll see if he can pull it off again, get that second championship on his belt.
Absolutely, he's shown he has what it takes. Time to bring it home.
All right. Kathryn, who is going to be our final pick in the draft?
So that means that the Show Me Squirrels are in position 8 for the draft.
All right, and that leaves our last pick to be the Show Me Squirrels. Now, the Show Me Squirrels have had a draft tendency of running back. The last 5 drafts, they've gone running back, wide receiver, quarterback, running back, running back. Last year, they had Christian McCaffrey, who, between him and Dalvin Cook, carried that team for most of the year.
Yes.
I mean, it was insane having the top 2 running backs on the same team. I was very jealous.
He was a beast, man.
Yeah,
he was
it
almost
insane.
unbeatable.
Yeah, very well drafted. Now, I think he's going to try and go for another running back this year. With it being so late in the draft, he could definitely change things up a little bit.
Yes.
I think if Kamara is still on the board, he'll go for Kamara. But I can also see him going for one of 2 Chiefs players in Travis Kelce or even Tyreek Hill.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I think Jake said he's came into Chiefs Kingdom open arms, and he's ready to embrace all the fantasy points that the Chiefs offense can bring him.
Absolutely. I mean, for real. Now, it does have to be said that the 8th pick in the draft has never won a championship, and oftentimes it's drafted by former champions.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely a challenge to draft number 8, but we'll see if Jake can do it. It's been a couple of years since he's gotten his championship. You think he's ready?
Jake, he's always, in the playoff hunt, in the playoffs, pushing. It could easily be Jake's year.
Absolutely.
It's been enough time.
I think everybody's hungry this year.
Yes,
don't you?
absolutely.
Yeah. Can't let somebody get 4 championships, can we?
No, we can't have that happen. Or repeat champions back-to-back years. We don't want that either.
No, we won't allow it.
Thank you guys very much for joining us for the 3rd annual Missouri 5 Draft Lottery. We will see you guys later. You guys stay awesome.